Hello, everybody in the chat. I don't know what is going on with the audio sometimes. One minute I can hear it, one minute I can hear it on my laptop and headphones. The next minute I can't hear it. Then the echo starts. I don't know what's going on. How are you all doing on this beautiful Sunday? May God be with every single body. Anything you're going through, hard times, dealing with demons, in human form, stress, anything you're going through, period. I hope that you get through it. And I don't have to just say this because it's a Sunday. It could be any day. But I know some of y'all might have went to church today and some of you didn't. I have a mixture of people who follow me of all faiths and beliefs. And today I want to talk about Nia Long and Idris Elba. Nia Long and Idris Elba. Matter of fact, I really don't even need this headphone in. But okay. Nia Long and Idris Elba. Idris Elba was the main one who came under fire. Now, if you can't hear me, I'm sure you'll let me know. Idris Elba was the main one who came under fire close to a few weeks ago. When he came under a lot of criticism. If there's any issues with the audio, let me know in the chat. He came under a lot of criticism because he shared that he didn't want to be he doesn't want to be seen as just a black actor. And that rubbed people the wrong way, right? It rubbed people the wrong way. They thought, is he ashamed? Is Idris Elba ashamed of being black? Is he ashamed? And no, he's not. He's not. I have watched a few content creators' opinion about this. And a lot of people felt like he wants to get out of being seen as black, maybe a lower caste, or he wants to elevate himself into whiteness. It's not that. To me, I'm not saying that other people's videos did not have good points, did not have any truth to it, but to me, it's not about no. It's not fully that. Nia Long, people forgot that 2 months ago she said something very similar. This is not about not wanting to be black. This is about money. Oh yes, we're going to have some fun with this video. I'm not going to be too long on here. This is about money. Point blank. It's about money. As, it usually should be, as seasoned actors and actresses and everything like that. So before I get into it, I want to share something. Let me share something with you. You know how I do. The first thing that I want to share, give me a second. All right. Is this company. I want to highlight this company really quickly before we get started. What's weird is that where are my other photos of her products, which is weird. It's not showing up on here. Okay, I see it. All right. Kimberly, New York. Kimberly, New York. Her name is actually Kimberly Walker, and she has a perfume company. She has her perfume company. I believe she might have named it after, a name that was given to her, of course, by her mother, or her mother's name was Kimberly. Okay, give me a second. Got a few things mixed up. All right, so you can buy her perfume from KimberlyNewYork.com. Okay. And a few things about her. She worked as a sales manager at a luxury department store with perfumes and everything for 10 years. And one thing that she noticed was that there weren't any brands or any black women being represented selling luxury perfumes. So she saw something that was missing, and she decided, you know what? I would like to have a luxury perfume brand. And that's what she did. So she started her company, Kimberly New York, kimberlynewyork.com again. Now, one of her perfumes is called Artsy. A lot of the names have special meaning to them. Artsy is one of her top sellers. Okay, now the prices is luxury. All right, so $129, but you can get the smaller perfumes for as low as $35. But the top seller is Artsy. Another name is called Ether. Okay, she has many more different names of her perfumes, all different scents. And she has one called Diaspora because it represents the diaspora, people of African descent. And she also has Jamaican roots. So what she did, she combined Jamaican, what is it? I have it written down. It's called apple, Jamaican rose apple, and sparkling champagne is one of the scents. I believe that's Artsy. No, it's Diaspora. But Artsy is the top seller. So if you're looking for a luxury perfume, check out kimberlynewyork.com. Okay, so let's get started more of what I wanted to say with Nia Long and Idris Elba. They don't want to be just put into a box. I know I got my notes because I have a lot to say on this. Again, when they said they did not want to be put into a box, well, again, it's not about being ashamed of being black. It's not about feeling that your people have no value or that you want to be white. These people are hardworking actors and actresses. Nia Long is of legendary status of any actress, period. And they're not getting paid what they deserve. They're not. If you work somewhere for a law company, wouldn't you be pissed off if you've been working for a company for over 12 years or almost 20 years and they refuse to make you a partner? It's no different really with acting. They're Nia Long. I mean, Idris Elba is a superstar. He is. Nia Long is a superstar. Now, people would say, well, she's a superstar in the black community. Is she really big? In Hollywood, she still gets roles because they know her work. They know who she is. Okay? So, Karma Queen of Flame says, I think people are just too happy being labeled. Even without words, people would still put him in the black category. I don't think it's coming from a place of shame. You are more than your color. I agree with you. But, there were people who felt like, oh, they have an issue with being black and all of that. So Nia Long, let me show you what they both said and what made this kind of go viral. Okay, so let's get started with, I think I'm going to show what Nia Long said first. Sorry, y'all. My pictures are just slightly disorganized, just a tad bit. Okay, if I seem like I'm all over the place. Okay, so this is what Nia Long said 2 months ago. She said, calling films black movies only holds us back. She does not want films with predominantly black people to be labeled a black film. And this is why, let's continue. It says, longtime actress Nia Long believes using the term black movies to refer to black-led films could be holding us back. In an interview with BuzzFeed, Nia Long discussed how deeming movies as black may be trapping black actors and filmmakers into a specific box. She said, I think terms like that hold us back, and I have to catch myself sometimes too, because I'm very proud of who I am. When I use the word black, I don't use it as a way to separate ourselves from anyone. The Best Man, the final chapters, which was great. I have to tell you, it was really good. Further believes that Referring to films as black movies could jeopardize an actor's range and longevity in the entertainment industry. Okay, let me see what else she said. She said, I use it as a way to put an exclamation point behind our greatness because I don't think that it's always been celebrated and recognized. I have this thing in me that says I'm being used to tell I'm being used to tell stories to inspire our people and to serve as a voice. So I'm going to just trust this process. She continued, if I read a script and I love it and say I've got to do that, then I'm going to do it. Long, okay, it's a little blurry for me. Long noted that while she's unapologetically black on the big screen and in her day to day life, she still believes multiculturalism is important. She says, I am a lover of mankind and human beings and accepting of all people that are good. So multiculturalism is equally as important to me, she said. But I'm here to represent who we are. And if you want to come along for the ride, everyone's welcome. Okay. So now let's go to what Idris Elba said. He says he doesn't want to be called a black actor. He said it has put him in a box. Similar to what Nia Long said, right? Okay, so this is what he said. Now, this was an article on CNN of what he said. Luther star Idris Elba says he no longer refers to himself. Thank you, no comparison. Luther star Idris Elba says he no longer refers to himself as a black actor because the label put him in a box, and an obsession with race can hinder aspirations and growth. Speaking to Esquire UK in an interview published Wednesday, the Golden Globe winner said that while he is a prominent member of the black community, such separatism in Hollywood can hold entertainers back. He said, if we spent half the time talking about the differences but the similarities between us, the entire planet would have a shift in the way we deal with each other. Okay, Elba is best known for his portrayals of drug lord Stringer Bell in the HBO series The Wire, as well as DC something, I can't see it, John Luther in the BBC crime series Luther. His film credits and everything like that. For Elba, racism is very real, but he believes that it's only as powerful as you allow it to be. I don't fully agree with that. I agree, but I don't agree. You can have the best mindset, but if you don't control stuff, you don't decide who gets what and all that. If you don't own it, you don't have the power. But you can't always hide or think everything's about race too, or think you can't do something, or always be on the defense that your race is going to be a problem and stuff, and always assuming no one likes you because you're black. I didn't get the job because I was black, and maybe you just weren't qualified. Maybe your resume sucked. That happens too. Okay, so, all right, he said, I stopped describing myself as a black actor when I realized it put me in a box. We've got to grow. We've got to. Our skin is no more than that, just skin. Rant over or something, he said. Okay. Then he said, this is the last part of the interview. He said, everywhere in the interview, Elba discussed his reasons to pursuing a career in entertainment, saying it was never to break barriers as a black man. I did it because I thought that it's a great profession. I could do a good job at it. And you get to go, you go up the ladder, you get asked what it's like to be the first black to do this or that. Well, it's the same as it would be if I were white. It's the first time for me. I don't want to be the first black. I'm the first Idris. He's being delusional. I'm sorry, Mr. Idris Elba. I agree with you, but I also don't agree with you. If everything were, Okay, hold on, Lord. Okay, let me say. Okay. I totally agree that black people, I don't like boxes. I hate that most black films are stereotypical. And they're usually made by black producers and directors who stay in these boxes themselves. I understand people need to see beyond color and be able to see themselves in a character. Unfortunately, there are a lot of people who don't want to see themselves in a character that happens to be played by a black person. That's why these things exist. You know, I had said before, think about it. If you were to go on a certain streaming service and the cast is predominantly black, those films are going to be pushed way back. They don't get pushed to the front. If I want to see people, okay, for instance, I've seen Tubi, I've seen other streaming services. There's international film sections where you see films from other parts of the world. There's LGBTQ films. So if you're looking to see something with stories of gay people and their struggles or happiness, and you're gay and you identify as that, there's films for that. If there's Islamic or middle religion based films, they have sections for that with the Christianity films, Islamic films, Buddhist films. If you're looking for Indian films, it's going to be Bollywood section. So what is there for you when people want to see people that look like them? To me, a movie is a movie, but the truth is that there are a lot of people who do not identify with black people, even if it's just a regular story. We can watch any movie, and a lot of us don't see race. Well, some do, but I don't. I just see characters and someone playing it. But unfortunately, there are people who will look at a cast that's all black and all of a sudden they feel it's a black film. Oh, I can't relate. And it's because of their own internal racism. And this is a fact. I saw the articles about what creators are going through right here on YouTube and on TikTok who don't get sponsorships, where women not black cannot relate or they don't want to black women creators who are selling the same products that white women are selling, promoting the same thing, but because she's black or she has natural hair, or if she, all of a sudden is different to them because they're racist or prejudiced, but they don't believe that themselves that they are. Now, I understand if a black woman is promoting foundations and you're white, you don't wear her foundation. If she's promoting natural hair products, well, you don't have curly, kinky hair. You're not. So I'm not shocked if they can't relate to that. But as far as promoting Amazon products and gadgets and stuff, and black women are doing the same thing on TikTok, the same type of videos, but studies and stats have proven that you're not pushed up in the algorithm. You're not supported. People are racist, and all of a sudden when they see that you have some melanin in you, all of a sudden they want to put you in a box. You might not want to be put in a box, but there are people who put us in a box. And unfortunately, in my opinion, we also put ourselves in a box. Oh, that's white people S. Oh, we don't do that. Oh, you trying to be this. You aren't trying to be black. Why are you trying to tell me how to be? What is that? I'm not a stereotype. Yes, I like fried chicken. No, I do not eat watermelon. I do not eat chitlins. I do not eat okra. And I'm not ashamed. Yes, I love some fried chicken, and so do most people. But I'm not going to have anybody black or not black tell me what it is to be black. Tell me what I'm supposed to like. I've met people. I've had this happen when I was a teenager, buying a CD that was opera music and getting a weird look from the woman, the cashier, looking at me like, oh, like she didn't think I would listen to that. Or a girl I thought was my friend, there was a rock CD, and I said, well, what's this? She said, oh, you wouldn't like it. And I snapped. I said, you don't know what I listen to. I listen to rock. I listen to country, opera, R&B, hip hop, dance music, foreign music. And it doesn't help when we also put ourselves in a box too, you know? So, I think they forget that we're supposedly only 13% of the population. If you want to see movies for Native American stories, there will be a Native American category on streaming services. So what is there? I mean, it just, I would like movies. Movies are still movies. Even if something is considered a black movie, I would love for the companies to push them up if they're a good movie so that everybody can watch them. Or, yeah, I understand you don't want everything called a black film. It's just a movie. You know, people say that, but until the companies that are not usually ran by us, on average, major companies, heavyweights, I'm not even looking at my notes. With this, I'm going to say things they want to say, but they can't say with everything I'm saying. Okay. So, all right, give me a second. When it comes to Nia Long, Nia Long is a legendary actress again in the black community. And in my opinion, just Hollywood, period, right? She is. She became very, very popular around in the 90s, right? She became popular in the 90s for her role, especially her breakout role, in many people's opinion, was Boys in the Hood. Boys in the Hood put her into superstar status in the, thank you, Van. Boys in the Hood put her into superstar status in the black community. And the roles ever since have been pouring in for her. Nia Long is African American and Trinidadian, and she grew up in Brooklyn, New York. Again, she rose to fame in her role in Boys in the Hood. And many more. She was the go-to girl, you know, like in rom-coms. Well, the black rom-coms, I guess you can call it. She was the go-to girl in the love movies and everything like that. Idris Elba, where's his picture at? Idris Elba, he is a Ghanaian and Sierra Leonean of African descent. When I mean African, I mean straight up African, from England. And there has been a lot of controversy about foreign black people playing African Americans or taking over Hollywood, and African American born black people not being able to get any work. But at the end of the day, African American women are the ones who made this man a star. That is a fact. He owes his entire career to African American women. And I'm not saying, I'm just saying that's just the truth, And so do so many other foreign black people. I understand that Hollywood, the head honchos usually are not black people that hire them, but usually you got to get the support of black people in the so-called community to even make it like that, because he's been in mostly black films produced by, a lot of American black directors and foreign as well. So, okay, again, this is about money, not about being ashamed of, in my opinion, being black. Oh, this is going to be so good. Some of the things I want to show you. So there are a few legendary films like The Best Man. And he was upset because he wanted to play 007. But I think he feels he didn't get the role because he's black. 007 is usually a white English man. And there were people who were very upset. So, okay. Looking at my notes, y'all. So we got The Best Man, which Nia Long was pretty popular in. But let me tell you, black films, let's just be honest here. Black films, there haven't been successful black films in years. The last thing was the final chapters of The Best Man, which was on a streaming service. I don't know what's happened. This is considered a legendary film, and it was wonderful. All of the Best Man films have been great. All of them. Look, you have Nia Long, Sana Lathan, Mia Calhoun, Terrence Howard, Taye Diggs. All of them who became pretty successful, right? So, but unfortunately, black money in Hollywood versus white money in Hollywood are completely different. And I completely understand if Nia Long and Idris Elba are absolutely insulted and disgusted because they feel like, hey, I'm an American, I'm an actor just like everyone else. I make films. I want to be treated and I want to be paid like the heavy hitter that I am. Especially I can see Nia Long. Nia Long is up there like a Meryl Streep or Julia Roberts, in my opinion. But yet her salary doesn't reflect it. It's the same thing you see all the time of how some white people get paid versus black people. Yet we're saying everything is equality and stuff like that. We know that's not 100% true. I'm not speaking of all people who feel like this, but this exists and it exists even in Hollywood. And people will say, well, get your own, get your own. We're going to talk about that. Okay. You can get your own. It's not going to be like what white people get here. Not just if you're doing it just in America. It goes so much into it. We're going to talk about that. Okay. So many black films do not make money. They make some money, but once you take away all that went into it, the investments, the ad campaigns, everything paying everybody, they're not getting paid with S. A lot of them. Don't get me started on B and C and D list actors, black actors. Oh my God. What, $500 for some films? You know, and they can be really great. So the film industry, in my opinion, has been sucking for a while. Everything has been Marvel movies. It went down. COVID happened. It went down. Now AMC is trying to charge people a lot of money just to sit in the front row, which is insanity. The film industry has been suffering. Now the major film industry is streaming services, Netflix, Amazon Prime movies, but Netflix is like the biggest thing. Tubi is now kind of getting up there a little bit. And I will tell you something. Well, I'll save that. I'll save it. But come on now. How many legendary black films have we seen in recent years? God knows I haven't seen a serious romance movie, black romance movie. And I know some of you are like, well, we don't care for black love anyway. I know, but still, a good film. Come on. A truly good film. I haven't seen it in a long time. Nothing that's Oscar worthy. Nothing that's that legendary, in my opinion. Okay? These are some legendary films right here. Coming to America. The Color Purple. The Color Purple, all right? We have Set It Off. The Players Club. Now, I know some people are going to laugh at me. Like, why are you mentioning the Players Club? Look, the Players Club is still... I consider that still a legendary film. I don't care what nobody's saying. Ronnie and all of them, I'm sorry. That was one hell of a film. I know it could be a little ratchet in some parts, but you can't tell me the Players Club wasn't good. Okay, Set It Off was good as shit. You know, I cried when Kimberly, got, hit with you know what. Okay. Eve's Bayou. Eve's Bayou, severely underrated, legendary film. Do the Right Thing. Look, Waiting to Exhale, you said in the chat. When was the last time we have seen some real movies? It's been a long time. Tyler Perry was trying to hold it down. I still have a lot of respect for Tyler Perry. Temptation was pretty good, but there ain't really nothing out being made that much, not like what we grew up seeing. And these films made pretty decent movie money when it came out. I love The Color Purple. Oh my God. I have The Color Purple on DVD. So again, don't get me started on the lack of romance movies. Oh my God. It's terrible. I said Gen Z. I think Gen Z, I feel sorry for them. They didn't grow up on no romance at all. It's no wonder they all got issues when it comes to romance and sexuality and all types of stuff. Because they didn't grow up seeing romance films, in my opinion. Men loving women. No, they did not at large at all. It's just, it's horrible, disgusting, horrible. But I will say, Megan, I was happy to see Megan. I saw it. It was pretty good. And Megan, many people don't know that Megan was written by Akilah Cooper. She's the one who wrote Megan. And I was so happy and surprised when I found this out. Megan is like an upgraded Chucky, but Megan was damn good. And I was happy to see a black director doing something so different. And the film was pretty successful. One thing I can't stand about a lot of black films, talking about being put in a box. So many black films. That's why I was so happy when I found out Megan was directed by her, because most black films on average are always about pain, slavery, drugs, broken black love, gang banging and shootouts. It's so stereotypical. It's so stereotypical a lot of times, and it irritates me, especially when so many black filmmakers are the ones making this. And it's like we can put our own selves in a box again. Like every time a black film wins an Oscar or is considered, oh my God, it's always about slavery over and over and over. I'm like, damn, y'all ain't got nothing else to talk about? Something interesting? I mean, it is interesting. I like biopics, biography, and all that type of movies. I do. Like, I wouldn't mind seeing a movie based on Nanny Barrows. I wouldn't. But it's like repeatedly over and over and over about slavery, as if that's all. Like, I had an idea, but then I said, you know what? If I were to make a film like this, I honestly believe black people might want to boycott me. I said, there has never been a fictional story about black vampires living during the slavery era. I said, now that might be a hell of a movie. Picture it. How did black vampires survive? Now, if I had a film, I'm saying this because I know I'm not making this film, but if I were to, imagine black vampires who were living before slavery even started. But once slavery came around, they were put into slavery, or people tried to. They had to live through the night. And imagine trying to function and go places at night. And they're like, what you doing here? Come here, boy. What you doing here? And next thing you know, their fangs come out. Imagine what it would be like as a black vampire living through that era, surviving all the way to the modern era. You don't see stuff like that. Everything is always about pain and suffering. Never nothing fictional or something that's different, I like to see, creativeness and different types of things, not always the same thing. But anyway, Megan was written by Akilah Cooper, and I loved it because, again, it was so different than what you usually see from a lot of black writers on average. I'm not saying they're not out there doing different things, but she made it pretty big with this film. So again, when I said it's about money, it is what they said. They didn't say it, but I'm saying it because I know that's what it's about, rightfully so. Look at Taraji P. Henson. In my opinion, she is a phenomenal actress. She's one of the greatest of our times as far as actresses. But look at this. She was only paid $50,000. The Curious Case of Benjamin Button. $50,000 for a movie of that magnitude it's nothing. It's an insult. $50,000. Okay. But she said she didn't really get paid until Tyler Perry paid her worth. I believe the film was Acrimony. I could be wrong, but I believe it was Acrimony. Tyler Perry paid her $500,000. But according to sources, her net worth is $25 million. Now you might think, well, Cerebral, $25 million is still a lot. It is a lot for the average person, but for Hollywood heavy hitters, that's not major. And the fact that she got paid $50,000 for that film, come on, I believe Benjamin Button won an Oscar. She was an important person in the film. And it's not just that, it's other roles she's taken where she didn't get paid much. But I'm happy that Tyler Perry paid her $500,000, okay? I want to show you the difference between what black actresses are getting paid versus white women actresses and why I said that this is about money. All right, so we have Julia Roberts, who I love too. I mean, amazing. She gets paid $20 million per film. Her net worth is $250 million. $250 million is her net worth. She's a heavy hitter. So she gets to bring home and she gets to demand, no, you give me 20 million for any film that I do, because that's how big I am and that's my worth. Okay, let's see who else. Demi Moore. Oh, I love Demi Moore's films too. Oh my God. Another heavy hitter. Now, I don't know if this has increased, but she was bringing in $12.5 million per film that she would do. Her net worth is $220 million. Okay, let's go to the next. Jennifer Aniston. Now, Jennifer Aniston isn't really known for films. She's known for her role on Friends on TV shows. But she was getting paid $1 million per episode. Her net worth, just doing TV shows, is $300 million. All right. All right, let's see. Reese Witherspoon. She gets paid, she gets to demand and gets paid $15 million per film. Her net worth is $900 million. Now, I did hear maybe 400 million, but I will get into that in a second. And I do like her movies. Yes, Reese Witherspoon. All right, so then we have Sandra Bullock. I also love her films too. Mostly everybody up here's films I love. Most of them. Okay. She brings in $10 to $20 million per film. Her net worth is $250 million. Then we have Gwyneth Paltrow. She gets paid. She brings in $1 million per month. $1 million per month. She gets paid $13 to $19 million per film. Her net worth is $160 million. Hi, Rusty. She brings in $160 million. That's her net worth. Then we have Jessica Alba. Jessica Alba is Hispanic, but look, she brings in $4 million per month. She gets paid $10 million per film, and her net worth, and I know this shocks a lot of people, is $390 million. Now, let's look at some of the black actresses who have been working just as hard, have been doing just as many films, just as legendary status as these women. Viola Davis, $3 million a year. Viola Davis, $3 million per year. Nia Long. $1 million a year. Net worth, $10 million. Has been acting since the 1990s in major films, at least in the black community, but made money in Hollywood. Is up there. She is on Julia Roberts and Demi Moore and Gwyneth Paltrow's level, without a shadow of a doubt. She's a great actress. Her resume, her catalog, everything of her work is long. They have 290 million, 300 million, 400 million. Out of all these years of her working in Hollywood, her net worth is only $10 million in comparison to them. And she only brings in $1 million per year. and you have to add in taxes and everything like that. I'm unable to get that information right now, Maria Baker. Also, Angela Bassett, without a doubt, is our she's on the level of Meryl Streep. Let's just be honest. Angela Bassett is the most legendary black actress in history. She's the most legendary actress, period, in history. Nobody can touch her in acting. I don't give a damn what nobody's saying. I no, she's like, to me, Angela Bassett and Denzel Washington is the top. I'm not talking about race. I'm just saying being an actor and an actress, period. Currently, she is the highest paid black actress. Now, Jennifer Aniston was getting paid $1 million per episode for Friends. Angela Bassett is on a show. They're paying her $450,000 per episode. And this woman is much more legendary than Jennifer Aniston. Let's just keep it real. Her net worth out of all these years, out of all her work, all of her resume, all her amazingness, she's only worth $25 million. I understand that's a lot of money to us, but I just showed you what them other women are bringing in. That's nothing compared to them, and it's insulting for her work. Now, I will say, these are the sources. You can look this up too, but this is what I was able to get to find out what's going on. All right. Vanessa Williams, she was getting paid $100,000 per episode for a show she was on. Her net worth is $30 million. Okay. And all of these women, every single one I've shown, is of legendary status, hard work, big resumes, should be able to command $1 million per episode. Period. But you see what's going on. Now, I want to show you something. With Gwyneth Paltrow, she didn't get all her money from just acting. She didn't. She has a company called Goop. A lot of people have criticized her because her prices are pretty damn high for spoons and stuff, but people are buying it. She makes a hell of a lot of money with her company called Goop. Who else I want to show you? I want to show you again. Reese Witherspoon, $900 million is a hell of a lot. I mean, she hasn't been in that many films, but Legally Blonde was good. You want to know how she made so much money? Now, it said, I think I should have put 400 million. She had a production company. Her production company made Legally Blonde and all of that. So she brung in a lot of money because it was her company, her production company. She sold her production company for $900 million. I believe her net worth is actually 400 million, which is a hell of a lot. Okay, it's not like she's had a whole bunch of films that we know of. And I do like her movies, but she's actually worth 400 million. She sold the company for 900 million. And then there is lastly, Jessica Alba. Now, Jessica Alba, come on, Honey. Honey was decent, but Jessica Alba is not a big time like that actress, but she's well known. So you might think, well, how in the hell she got $390 million? Well, she started a company called The Honest Company, which sells baby products, that's non-toxic, diapers, food, products. And I'm showing this because these women are also rich as crap from investments and having companies. But I wonder, how is it that they're able to make this much money doing things outside of Hollywood? And the black women who have other projects, they never make it to this level. Do they know the right people? Are they better at marketing? Are they better at business? Are they working with people they can trust that won't, accountants and stuff that won't scam from them? I don't believe in that not allowed stuff. I'm sorry. I hate when I hear that, oh, you ain't allowed Who? So they can do these things, but a black woman can't. I don't believe that at all. Until I see these contracts that say that, I'm not believing that. I don't believe that, you know? So I showed you what they make versus black women in the industry. And again, like I said, I can see beyond color. I love Sex and the City. I consider it to be the greatest TV show in history. I can rewatch it over and over and over. I never get tired of Sex and the City. I love these characters. I might not be like all of them. I think there's a little bit of each in some type of way, but I love the show. And I don't need them to be black to love the show. I don't care that they're white. They had wonderful personalities. They had things that all women could relate to. But when it comes to black women shows, all of a sudden, people can't relate to you because, oh, you're a black woman, or they think that's what I think is going on too, is people's racism within themselves, their prejudice, where they can't see beyond that it's a black woman. They think all of a sudden something becomes different. Her love life problem is different. Or, oh, well, that's just for them. I can't watch it because, I mean, it's ridiculous, but yet we can watch these shows. Now, I have heard of black women. I know that when they came back last year or so with Just Like That, they put black women in the show, and they tried to be all woke and, oh, well, people complain. I felt it was ridiculous. I'm like, no, the show was perfect just the way that it was. You don't have to all of a sudden, diversity is great, but you don't have to prove nothing, or, oh, I got to add this. No, we loved your show just the way it was. Not everybody cares if it's a black woman on the show. We love these characters. At least me, I thought it was ridiculous because it seemed so forced when they tried to do this woke stuff. It's like, just stop. The show was perfectly fine the way that it was. If you have a black friend you meet, great. But when it seemed forced, like, well, we got to throw black people in and the LGBTQ in or the trans now because it's 2023. We don't need all of that. The show, I mean, seriously, I've heard black women say, well, I can't watch it of some kind of well-to-do white women living in New York. And I'm like, well, who cares? It's a good-ass show. Amazing show. Period. The greatest show in history. That can't be denied. I'm sorry. So I will always love Sex and the City, but I'm just making a point. I don't need them to be black women to relate or enjoy the show because they're characters. But diversity is great, but nobody makes nobody makes so-called black shows have to throw in white women. Like Girlfriends. Nobody said, well, can you get a white woman character in? Don't you got white girlfriends? Isn't this life? Nobody says that. But all of a sudden, you have to bulldoze and, oh, you better put somebody black in there because if you don't, this is racism. And, well, I can't relate because her skin is paler. I mean, it's ridiculous. And, I don't like how forced it seemed when they did that. So fake and woke and all this stuff they did. The writers had changed. The show just wasn't the same. Season 2 is coming, and I pray to God that the original writers are on this one, period. So when I showed you, again, Julia Roberts, let's go back to Julia Roberts, because I love Julia Roberts. She's able to demand $20 million, and she gets it. But a company, it's called show business. It's called movie business. It's called the movie business. It's called show business because it's a business. You just don't get to ask for 20 million. You just don't get paid 20 million. They have to know that you can carry a film. They have to know that you can bring in the money, that people want to go to the audience to see you, that they believe you're a good actress, that they like you. And the companies have to invest. When I hear black people say, well, just getting your own is great, but that's not going to happen overnight. It's more that goes into it. Companies, the big heavy hitters, which are not owned by black people, spend thousands to millions of dollars just to market your movie, just to have it on the TV, to promote it, ad campaigns. You got to pay the companies that do this. It's so much money. And if you're some B-list actor or somebody nobody's even talking about, and you're known for some low-level black films, they're thinking, well, why should I pay you 20 million? Who even watches your films like that? What can you bring in? They're investing into you. They invest in it. You got a group of people that invest into these films, marketed at festivals, all over the TV commercials for you. Everything is a business. Remember when Left Eye said TLC went bankrupt? They said, yeah, we look pretty, we dress nice, but the company pays for that. And once we get paid, we have to pay all of those people for the makeup and the clothes we wore, everything. And once it's all over and done with, we don't have nothing. So the companies are investing in you. When people come out singing, if they think you're going to be a superstar for a label, they pay money to get you a makeover, get your teeth fixed. They put your ass on a diet. They get you in training. All of that before they really release you to the public and all of that. And then you have to pay them back for what they invested into you. There have been cases of women who a company spent $1 million on, and she ain't even come out with an album yet, but that's what they've been doing because it's still money in a business, right? So anyway, with black films and everything like that, we don't own these big advertising companies. We don't own TV networks that's going to put your shit on TV so people even know that your film is being made. Who's going to hype it up? All we got is the shade room, really. Let's just be honest. What TV networks? We don't own these TV networks. So who's going to promote it? Talking about just being fully independent. Who's going to put your commercial on for millions of all Americans across the whole country to hype up your film? Come on now, let's just be realistic. It ain't just you just do it all by yourself. You're going to have to run literal TV networks and marketing and all this stuff just to get that done, and we don't. So no, it's not some overnight thing, and you need connections. Whether you like it or not, as a so-called 13% of the population, no big power in Hollywood like that, you will be working with heavy hitters who are not black people who give the okay to invest in you and to promote your shit on a serious level so that your film could make it on the level of Titanic or something. When you see these slave films and stuff, it ain't just black people that's getting paid back money for promoting it and marketing it and pouring into it. It's the people not black who got those movies out there for these Paramount Pictures and Fox, all this stuff. It's a business. So, and if you're not a big actor, they might think, well, why should we pay you a $20 million salary? No one's even heard of you like that, and we don't even know if you can bring in. You have to flip it. If we invest 10 million or 20 million in this film, can you bring us back 90 million in sales? That's how it works. Julia Roberts has proven that she can with all her films. That's why she's able to demand 20 million. But to me, Angela Bassett is on that level. She's legendary. She should be able to get $20 million. Viola Davis has proven she should be able to get $20 million per film. Jennifer Aniston got paid $1 million for Friends per episode. Angela Bassett is only getting paid $450,000, and she's considered the highest paid black actress right now. And then you have to admit that there are people who are racist who won't support the film because they see it as a black film and not just a movie. If you have diversity and people in there who aren't just black, then more people feel they have representation and that they can relate to it more, then they probably will see your movie in masses more. The only movie recently I've seen where a lot of people of all races were willing to see it was Wakanda. And then they had, the indigenous Mexicans and stuff in the film, which also brung in the Mexican audience to help the film become big. And I heard that Angela is nominated for an Oscar. So, okay. I might do a whole video about what's going on TikTok and on here with creators who don't get promoted the same. And I'm sorry to say this, but this is reality. There are just other races of women and men, but I'm speaking of women who they don't see themselves in you. They don't want to relate to you. They can't see beyond your color. And that's something within them. Versus us, a lot of us can look at anything and we'll see a product and we'll like it, or we'll like the girl and like her. We don't always care what race she is, some of us, you know, but some of them can't get their prejudice and they can't get beyond certain things. So the support is not the same. And I'm sorry to say, people like that, there is nothing you can do. But we have to be realistic. We're only supposedly 13% of the population. How successful and big do you expect to get without other races of people supporting you? You can make it, you can be successful. It's just not going to be on the level that I'm showing you up here. At least it doesn't seem to me. Okay, so I also mentioned Tubi. Tubi is a streaming service that has a hell of a lot of black film and filmmaker stuff. Tubi has some excellent films, also things that would be considered ghetto as hell films. Everything on there, some stuff is so good. And I have to say, Tubi is sort of new still, but Tubi is getting pretty popular. And I see if I could invest stock in Tubi, I would, because I see the potential that it has to be so freaking great. Okay. But I don't want it to be just a streaming service that has so many low budget ghetto films. But I have to say, a number of them don't. Some of them do and some of them don't. I've seen some films with great camera work, quality. Um, Tubi is taken off, I have to say. And even though I don't like everything on Tubi, the potential of what it could be and what I'm seeing could be really great for black directors and stuff. But in streaming services, I mean, cable is not what it used to be. Everything is streaming now. You know, like I said, Netflix, Amazon Prime, all types of stuff. And Tubi is, if you want to see a lot of black films, American black films especially, Tubi. And they're getting more and more creative with the films on there. I have to tell you. I have to tell you. Now, will they become extremely big like Hollywood? Hollywood films make it to the theater. Tubi's a streaming service. Um, Hold on, can you hear? Okay, it won't be the same, but it still has great potential. Great potential. Um, I have an idea of something I would love to do that's different that I'm sure it would involve interracial dating, but it's a great idea, you know. So I do have the solution to one of the problems with this when it comes to being put in a box, when it comes to money, because that's what this is about at the end of the day. Seasoned actors not being paid with their worth and what they deserve in the Hollywood industry. Now, there is Nollywood and there is Bollywood. Nollywood is Hollywood in Africa, Nigerian cinema, mostly. They probably work with other Africans too. Now, I did not like Nollywood because the quality was terrible. There was no storyline on a lot of it was terrible. But they have improved so much that some of their films are now on Netflix. The camera quality is better. It doesn't look like something filmed on it looks professional. More storylines. They have stepped it up serious. Now, I don't know if it's all coming from Nigeria, but I know a lot of them as African actors and actresses and film directors, and they're stepping it up good. I think they used to read people complaining. They've stepped it up. They got their thing. They're doing their thing. They're trying and they're stepping it up. Bollywood is humongous. It is the Indian Hollywood. They are bigger than our Hollywood with money and movies and also amazing films and quality. I've seen some of their films. It's really good. Okay, you said it's Nigerian Nollywood. Okay. Yes, I did hear that Tyler Perry is trying to buy BET or this other man. I forgot his name, but um, shh. I said I wouldn't mind. I got ideas for BET. I know exactly where BET went wrong. If Tyler Perry needs anybody to help him, if he buys BET, I'm down for it because I got a lot of ideas. Okay, so Nollywood, Nollywood. A lot of people didn't hear about Nollywood, but this woman right here is Ashiria. Ashir. I know her name. Ashwarya, Ashwarya Rai. She is the biggest superstar woman in the world. But when she went on Oprah, so many people didn't know her here because, well, a lot of people don't talk about Bollywood. Bollywood is now on the streaming services, but I'm showing her because think about it. She's in India, but she is the biggest star in the world. She reached beyond just India because Indians are all over the place. They're in Europe, they're in America, they're everywhere. And not only Indians watch these Bollywood films. So, what I'm saying, I have the solution to the problem. One solution. Black people, in my opinion, is there a rule saying that our reach only can be in America? Is there a rule saying we can't have allies outside of this country? Whether they're African, Caribbean, Latin, Asian? Who is there a rule saying that we cannot do business with outside people? I damn sure don't remember that. The solution, now I'm not 100% right, but I'm not the first person to say this, but the solution to the problem when it comes to money and reach, Black people who make films in America, in my opinion, you need to start collaborating with heavy hitters outside of this country. Ashanti, the singer, she was in a Bollywood film. I have the DVD with Ashura Rai called Bride and Prejudice. Really, really good. I have another Bollywood film called Fashion. So, so good. Amazing. You need to start working with foreigners in the film industry. Okay? Now, I know that India has a reputation for racism. There have been Black people in Indian films. I've seen them. But Nollywood, they're stepping up their game. There is no reason that you cannot work with other people in film. They sell the DVDs. They have their streaming services, whatever. Not enter, but different cultures still working together, doing different films together. There's never been a film about American Black and Africans doing something, even bringing up real life issues of culture clashes or friendship, something. And the thing is that what I'm saying, a lot of Pan African people say, my thing is, I feel like you can have allies, you can work with people outside of the country. Just stop trying to force people to identify with you. Respect their culture, who they are, their ancestry, and all of that, the same way they need to respect you. If you wanted to make a film with Africans, you do not have to start wearing a dashiki all of a sudden and talking like and claiming you eat fufu and stuff and you don't. No. Make a film that represents you and your people and your culture, and that let them do that with them, and you have a friendship, you do business together, you make films together, you even talk about real issues that go on, whether they're real movies. I don't care if they're from Africa, the Caribbean. Do some Black telenovelas and distribute them out in Latin America. And if they say I'm no Black and all that stuff, leave them alone. That don't mean they can't be friends with you or don't like you. They just don't identify the same as you culturally or racially. That didn't mean you couldn't do business together. I'm not saying work with people who are racist and who would disrespect you and don't like you. You got to get beyond your emotions on everything and accept that some people, they're not going to say I am just Black or I identify as Black. That's not a part of my culture. That's not all of that. Let it go. You want to make money in business? Reach beyond just America. Because there's not a rule saying you have to just stay here. And when it comes to business and everything like that, foreign people come to America all the time and make millions of dollars and become rich and successful. Chinatown has Chinese news coming in, their own TV cables, all types of stuff. So why can't you do it? We don't have to just be stuck in America when it comes to business, And just because someone does not identify as what you feel they should racially does not mean you cannot do business, doesn't mean you cannot be friends. It's all about respect at the end of the day. In my opinion, I always hear about the telenovelas in Latin America where the black one or the more blacker one or whatever is always the slave or something. Well, black people could maybe start their own telenovelas that have more power. I don't know. You could make a telenovela here, get it on, maybe get it on a streaming service in Latin America, or start selling DVDs all over Latin America somehow with the black telenovela. Some I don't know, but it's all about getting those creative juices flowing and realizing that there is money outside of America and there is a way to create something. And there's no rule saying that you cannot make allies outside of America. You know, a lot of pro black people or pro Pan African people, they tend to be stuck on race constantly. Well, black, 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 say you're black, say you're black. If you don't say you're black, you hate me. I ain't gonna F with you. Let it go. That don't mean nobody won't F with you. They're just saying I don't identify racially as you. That don't mean, I mean, that's more of an American thing. But a lot of people do business together all over the globe who might have had clashes and stuff like that, but it's for a common good, a common thing. But it is good to also build personal relationships too. But I believe that it would be a smart thing to start expanding your wings beyond just America if it's just too many difficulties in some areas to get the power and to get on the level that you want to, because you're not holding the strings. You don't own what needs to be owned. You don't own the TV networks to play these commercials. You don't own most radio stations to promote and market you. Like I said, the biggest thing we have is the shade room, in my opinion, as far as social media. Okay. Also, if you don't want to just be an actress, look at Shonda Rhimes now. Shonda Rhimes is smart as hell. Shonda Rhimes made a deal. She got 150 million. You know, she's a genius. She has a lot of shows. She's very creative and she's behind the camera. She's writing these stories and she wrote stories and shows that didn't just focus on black people. And she's using her power to change things like Bridgerton. She has black and Indian and Asian characters. She saw beyond race and shows that you don't have to just be stuck in a role or a box. Yes, we can have black people in positions of power at the palace and Indian girls at court getting courted and like any other girl and stuff like that. Indian girls who are not super pale, which would never happen in parts of India. She has broken barriers by diversifying herself, by showing a variety of different races, which is smart representation for everyone. And she's bringing the money in too, 150 million. So she made it to that level to bring in that kind of money and more. So it shows that you don't have to just be an actor or an actress. You can get behind the screen. But if you want people to relate and bring in a bigger audience, in my opinion, as far as business, yes, it would be smart to have all races of people in your media and in as actors and everything like that. You know, it works. And then you can bring in more black characters too. She is big, so she can do all types of stuff, you know. And Bridgerton, maybe the next Bridgerton, the leading lady might be a black American girl. Who knows what she'll do, but she can do that. You know, people watch her show. They love her shows. So that is basically all of what I had to say. All of what I had to say as far as them not wanting to be put in a box. I did not see it as Idris Elba being ashamed of being black or trying to kiss up and all that. I think Nia Long and Idris Elba are frustrated because they're not getting paid what they're worth. And they don't want to be put just in a box. And maybe they want to play a superhero or a fairy or something. I heard Nia Long try to be in Charlie's Angels and they rejected her. You know, why do I have to stay in only black films and struggles, love, or or pain and slavery. Why do I have to be stuck in that? You know, I'm beyond that. I'm an actor. This is what I do. I get paid to play a character. Stop putting me in a box. I don't, you know, I feel like you could still be considered a black actress, but just an actress or actor too. They don't want to just be put in a box. I totally agree and understand it. And most of all, why the hell, especially Nia Long, been in the industry as long as she had, the other women who are also great, I showed you 100 million, 190 million, 300 million, 390. But yet all Nia got on her whole work resume and all that is 10 million. That's insulting for her, especially being in Hollywood when she knows her name alone and who she is deserves more than that. You know, Brad Pitt gets paid a hell of a lot of money. Idris Elba is on that level. So they didn't say it's about money. I'm saying it's about money because I know. And I agree with what they're saying. It's beyond just, I don't want to just be seen as a black actor constantly. Pay me what I'm worth. I would like to demand 20 million per film. They didn't say that, but believe me, I know that's what they want to say. Because again, I gave you the example, working at a law firm for years, but because you're black, they won't make you partner. But you've been working there for like 15 years or so, and the company has stayed afloat because of you, but they won't let you become partner. So, and then people will say, well, get out of it then. You know, them white people run Hollywood. Go do your own thing. I just told you that ain't happening fast enough in their lifetime to get on the level like what I described and explained when it comes to you don't own TV networks. You don't own most of these ad campaign companies that pour millions of dollars just to advertise you. 13% of the population, how the word gonna get out? Who gonna be the cameraman? Who's gonna pay for the set clothing, the sets? You have to pay people thousands of dollars a day just to go in their building or whatever to film. It's money. It's just show business, movie business. Besides that, but I said the solution. You're gonna have to work with other people, in my opinion, and it doesn't just have to be here in America. And I also feel like, look, Reese Witherspoon, she started her production company, made Legally Blonde. I didn't know that. Sold it for 900 million, has $400 million. Only has been in 3 to 4 really well-known films that we know. Great actress, right? And people have said, why come Denzel and Angela and Ty, everybody who got some kind of money, maybe they need to pull their money together, a coalition, something together, and start a production company together. Reach out to Tyler Perry. He has his own studio. He bought up the land in Atlanta. He can do whatever the hell he wants and come together. But then once you do that, you're going to need the TV networks and people who believe in you, who are heavy hitters, who are usually not black. Let's be honest, a good portion. You will need them to believe in your projects and push them out. Or reach out to Oprah. She has her network own, and maybe get your films and stuff put on there. If Tyler Perry starts BET, maybe he'll start working with other writers and directors. I did hear he doesn't like to do that, but maybe he'll put some on who are black, and maybe some things could come. I'm not sure. But that's all I have to say for this video. I thank you all for joining me so much, everybody. I hope that you like what I said. I'll be reading the comments. Well, let me look through these comments real quick before I go. The most I can see. Let's see. Let's see. Mini-me, as a black woman, I don't typically watch black movies because I get tired of the same stereotypical roles and things that I myself do not participate in or support. Well, I do like some of them. Not all of them, though. I get tired of the same thing over and over and over, always about pain and slavery constantly. Don't get me wrong, there are some stories that need to be told, but you know, it's like the same thing over and over every single year, you know? Okay. I think Karma Queen of Flame says, I think they should keep 007 white Inclusion isn't always the best way forward. Some things are meant to stay as they are, and that's okay. Yeah, I know for some people, they feel it would be maybe unrealistic because he's always been a white man and all of a sudden he's turned black. You know, I've heard people say, well, why not make up your own thing, and do something different? Okay. Feminine logic, that's my point. Sam and Adele both do very good contemporary um, of what white soul music. They even tried to compare Adele to Aretha, which is insulting. Oh my God. Like Adele does make good music. I really like Amy Winehouse. It's a shame what happened to Amy Winehouse. Um, the one thing with Adele is that I notice her songs keep sounding alike. Like Hello from the Other Side. I was 1,000 times. I liked it a little bit, but it sounded like the same thing. But Rolling in the Deep was my song, and Someone Like You. Okay. Angela Bassett says AJ is the highest paid black female actress. Nia Long should be up there too. Felicia says, we told you Monique wasn't worth what she wanted in the Netflix situation. Personally, I think that she deserved to be paid good because she is of legendary status to me. She really is a good actress, Monique. She is. Keep your hard copy DVDs. Okay. Donna B says, however, Idris has gotten other roles in movies that are not considered black movies. Not sure why he is complaining. I think, again, it's probably about money. I think that they probably don't pay him what he feels he deserves. Okay, Waiting to Excel. Okay. Let's see. The Color Purple. The Color Purple is legendary, but so many black men hate The Color Purple because of Mr. But it's very realistic. I mean, it was a lot of life lessons in The Color Purple, and people get so caught up because Mr. abused her, which was very realistic. They missed the message of the film. It was a wonderful film, legendary, and they don't make them like that no more. Like if they just don't, not really. Okay, let's see. I want to see Megan. Megan was pretty good. Okay, even Lifetime, yeah, the Lifetime movie network has stepped up with putting more black people on them. But Lifetime is good, but old Lifetime, y'all know. Whew, I wish they would put some of those movies on DVD. Van says, yes, I was shocked when she revealed her pay. Taraji P. Henson for Benjamin Button. It was insulting to pay that woman that much money. Okay, so, all right. So that is it for now. And thank you, everybody, for joining me so much. You have a wonderful day.